Hello everyone, it's day 55. Today I spent pretty much all day working on the restaurant webpage for the Odin project. We had to dynamically create a website using Webpack and NPM. The only thing that was supposed to be in the index.html file was just a div with the ID of content. But looking through the documentation for Webpack, there's actually like steps in there that show you how you can just get Webpack to create the HTML file in its entirety for you. So I just went ahead and went that route. Just because of the way my program worked, having a div already in there kind of would have messed me up. So I just practiced just creating the whole thing dynamically. So that was cool. Just kind of working through trying to figure it out. We had to use tab browsing. So when they click on the tab, like the outside of the website stayed the same, literally just the content in the middle changed. So I figured that one out. I'd already worked with tab browsing before, so I understood that part. But it's just like to get it to work in this aspect was a little different. Webpack is definitely a steep learning curve. For me anyway, it's not that it's hard. It's so many steps. And like, if you do a step out of order, it doesn't work. And like, the difference is like when you get an error, you get like a whole page of errors, like you just read, opposed to just like one little line when you're just using just JavaScript on its own or whatever. And then I finally got it straight. And then we also had to use the ES6 modules structure as well. So it was a bunch of import exports going everywhere. Then I had like functions from this module, then I called them in this module, which was actually pretty cool. I like this system better than classes or factory functions that I've used so far. This is my favorite structure so far. So I hope like the course continues to use this method because it was actually kind of cool. I got all the way to the end where I finished the project, and then it said if you're using GitHub to upload your site, there's an extra step just because Webpack, you have a source folder and a dist folder. So GitHub is looking for the index.html file inside the source folder or like, on the outside, but there's no index.html file in there. It gets moved to the dist folder. So it was, they gave us a link to a gist. I think that's what they called it. And you had to basically just copy and paste. It really didn't have that great of an explanation as like to what you were copy and paste was actually doing. You just said to do it. But I actually looked on YouTube, and I think it was Traversy Media. He has like a 40-minute video on like the whole workflow. I just watched up until the point that with the information that I needed. He showed you how to add a script to your package.json file, so that you can just put, say, npm run deploy, and then I didn't know this, but you can make it so that npm actually has a gh-pages module. I think that's what you call it. And so you can just deploy directly to that module, or that, which basically creates a new branch. So if you go on your actual GitHub, you'll see that you have a main branch where you have all your folders and all your files. And then if you go to the gh-pages branch, it just has your index.html file, your bundle.js file, if that's what you use, and then the images with like all the long names or whatever that Webpack changes the original name to or whatever. And inside the script, you added, I forgot what you added, something -d, basically telling GitHub Pages to use the dist folder as like the source folder or whatever, to deploy your site, basically, so that when you actually click the link, it can find, because the dist folder actually has the index.html file. So when you go to click on the link, it'll actually show your page. Because when I first tried it, I just got a blank white screen just because one, I didn't know about the gist thing when I first tried to do it or whatever. And then I looked at it on my phone. I realized like the media query, I put max instead of min width or whatever. So I went back and changed that. And then when I went to update it, I noticed the GitHub Pages branch, it had updated like an hour ago. Like my main branch had just updated like a couple seconds ago, but like I couldn't figure out how come it wouldn't update again, because I got it to work, but like it just wouldn't update. And then finally I realized you have to run npm build to basically rebuild the Webpack to regenerate another index.html file that basically uses the most updated style.css file. So once I did that, then when I ran my deploy script to publish it back to GitHub Pages, it actually updated, and I could see that the index.html file and bundle.js file were newly committed or whatever. So, but yeah, that whole workflow is just a lot. Once you get it though, it's really cool. It's just all those steps and like still learning it, like not knowing that you missed something or whatever. Like it took me like 30 minutes to realize how come my page wasn't updating once I made another push to my branch or whatever. But I finally got it or whatever, so it's cool. I'm definitely gonna use it again in another project to get the hang of it or whatever. But at first I was not a fan of it, but I see the benefits of it now. But yeah, it was just a lot of steps, and I'm still not like a expert in it by any means, but I have a basic understanding that I can use it again, looking at my notes and all that. So, but yeah, overall, good day. I only have one more project in this section. That's a to-do list or whatever, but we have to make like I guess a harder version of a to-do list anyway. So I'll probably end up doing is like going back over data structures and all that as a review, because this is like, I guess, the last project of that type or whatever. And then I'll get into ESLint, working with forms, dynamic JavaScript, and then like Ajax and APIs and all that or whatever. But yeah, everything's moving smooth. So every time I finish a project, I'm always like super motivated for the next thing. I may actually watch lesson 1 for CS50 tomorrow, just because I realized last Wednesday was when I watched week 0. So I may as well maybe every Wednesday or something watch a new lesson or whatever. But yeah, overall, really good day. And I'm glad I finally figured this project out.